Hey, Flint fourth graders, is Dr. Price again, bringing you a math lesson for this week. We're going to be looking at multiplying by one, tens, hundreds, and thousands. So let me share my screen with you. Now, sometimes it takes it a minute. There we go. Okay, so Zern Chronicles. We're going to be looking at extra zeros.
What's up, athlete? Is your brain ready for a workout? Then let's warm up.
So now we're going to look at matching equivalent expressions. So to start with, think about the place value in your place value charts that you have we've worked on. And think about the word equivalent meaning equal. So anytime you see the word equivalent, it basically has the word equal, E-Q-U-I-V, well, equal, E-Q-U-A-L. We'd have to take out the I-V, but that's what equivalent means, is equal. So when we're looking at the match, we have 6 tens. So does 6 tens equal 60, 600, 100, or 10? So when I'm thinking about 6 tens, I'm thinking about 10 6 times. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So we would choose, of course, the 60. Now you think about it. 600s would be 6 100s. So if I drew 6 dots in my place value chart and we counted them, how much would they be worth? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. So we would have 600. 10 ones. Now think about our place value chart. If I'm looking at the ones column, that first column, it's only worth 1. And I want to do 10 ones. So what would I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ones. So we would match the 10. And then, of course, we have 10 tens. So when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking of the tens place, and I'm saying, well, each one counts as 10. So there's 10 groups of 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So 10 tens is 100. Great job. So now we're going to match each expression. All right, and so I want to be able to annotate and write here. We have 3 times 2 tens. So I am not talking about 3 times 2. So how we're looking at that tens, and I have 2 tens. So we're talking about 10, 20. And I know when I'm writing with the mouse, sometimes it can be hard. So 3 times 2 tens is actually 3 times 20, 10, 20. So 3 times 20 is going to be what? How am I going to figure that out? Well, in the case of Zern, the math program that we're using right now, we can take the number 3 times 2, which gives me 6, and then keep our tens. So 3 times 2 tens is really 6 tens, or 60, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So now we're looking at 2 times 3 ones. So now we're just talking about 2 groups of 3 ones. So 3, 2 times 3, and 3 would be 6 ones. That was pretty easy. Now let's talk about 300s times 2. So if you've kind of gotten into the rhythm of what we're doing here, if it says hundreds, then we're keeping it hundreds. So 300s times 2 would be 600s. And 2 times 3,000s would be 6,000s. And if you're working through your Zern at home, when you go through some of these lessons, you'll work through that before you even get to this lesson. So now we're going to add rows on our place value chart to show 2 ones times 4. So here we have, let me find my drawing tool. Here we have 2 ones already. But we need to show 4 groups, because when we have this multiplication symbol, we're thinking of it as groups of. So we have 2 ones in groups of 4. So now I'm looking at 4, and I want to have 4 groups of 2. So we're going to add, well, let's erase that drawing. 1 group, 2 groups, and 1 more group would be 3 groups, but now I have 4 because I started with 1. So 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, and 4 groups. So now it wants me to look at the expression. So let's make this a little smaller so we can see it all. All right. Our expression, so an expression is just how we're going to write the sentence. So in this case, they're writing 2 ones times 4. What is the unit form? What is 2 ones times 4 in unit form? Now, Dr. Price is thinking this is right. Let's see. Oh, it's give it to me one down here because that's what I thought. So if I know my multiplication tables, I know that 2 times 4 is 8. And the unit is a 1, so we're not going to change that unit. It's going to stay 8 ones. And then when I want to write that number in standard form, well, let's see if I have to do it one at a time. I do. Sorry. Sometimes this one can be tricky. When I want to write it in standard form, I'm simply going to say 8 because it's 8 ones. I can come back to my place value chart and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in standard form, it's just the number 8. Now we're going to add rows on our place value charts to show 2 tens times 4. So 2 groups of 4, but in our tens place. So we're doing it by place value. So 2, 3, 4. Let me move it back up so you can see it. 2 groups, 2 tens, 4 times. So what is 2 tens times 4 in unit form? So if 2 ones times 4 was 8 ones, then 2 tens times 4 is 8 tens. Because we're changing our unit. And then we want to know what it is in standard form. So now I'm thinking about 8 tens. Well, let's go back and count, but I can't count them by ones because we know they're tens. They're in the tens place. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. Now let's do the same thing, but we're going to do 200s times the 4. So in the hundreds place with 4 groups, just like before, 200s times 4. And let's look at this expression. So we're still following the same pattern. We're just changing our unit. So in this case, our unit was hundreds. So 200s times 4 is going to give me 2 times 4 is not 4, it's 8, and we're keeping our hundreds place. And then we're going to look and say, how much is 8 hundreds? So we're looking at 8 hundreds, not 8 ones and not 8 tens, but hundreds. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. So our answer would be 800. And now let's try thousands. So let's add our 4 rows of thousands. So now I have 2 in each group, and I have 4 groups. but in the thousands place. Now I'm going to do the same thing we did before, but we're going to say that 2 times 4 is 8 and keep our thousands unit, so 8 thousands. And then to write that in standard form, we would count. Now you're counting your place value by 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, and 8,000. Okay, so we're going to stop there. That was just kind of your introduction. Sorry about that hop there. My chair is flowing backwards. But that's kind of your introduction to how to multiply really by 10 if you're thinking about it, because each place value, remember, gets 10 times more. So we will continue this lesson in part 2, and I hope you have a great afternoon.